So today we're going to be looking at the interception. Well, one of three cousins interceptions on the day. This is going to go to Rudy Ford. He's going to pick off the ball roughly there or something. So we'll actually watch this from both angles because the end zone angle is really fun as well. And then we'll kind of get into what happens. So there's Ford kind of breaking over the top, coming out of nowhere, picking off the ball, getting a bit of a run back here. No pick six. Did not do what Darnell Savage did off of his interception. But hey, nice interception, nice run back from Rudy Ford. And again, we'll look at it from this angle as well. See Cousins kind of looking down the middle, fires, and there's Rudy Ford coming out of nowhere, pick off the ball. All right, so what are we looking at? First things first, we'll talk about basic coverages. Now, we're not going to get super in deep to coverage here, mainly because I'm bad with terminology, but there are countless different coverages, I guess you could say, but they all fit into, you can kind of fit them all into one of two buckets, either middle field closed, middle field open. Now that can change depending on pre-snap look, post-snap look, if it's match read, depending on how different these the routes break, it can change from how it initially looks. But those are the two basic coverages. There are coverage families you can put stuff in. Middle field open would be something that looks like this. So we'll kind of get this, which would be like kind of your too high look if you get guys kind of spreading out there because the middle field is open. Very, very creative term there. And then if you say spin this guy back, bring this guy up, this would then turn into a middle field closed because that's closed, which means your edges are open there. So that's your two basic families: middle field open, middle field closed. If this fits into a too high shell, which is what it kind of looks like, the basic coverage here, you got these two guys high here. That's kind of how this looks. This looks like this is going to be too high, and especially with the initial drops here, you can see kind of feet turned. He's looking there. He's looking there. This certainly looks for all the world like middle field closed, and it likely is. You've got this deep drop here in the middle to kind of help take that away. So you kind of drop back into there. This kind of a Tampa 2 type of look. That's not necessarily the coverage. He's not really running down the pipe there, but it's a deep drop there. It's 1st and 10, so it's not like this is 3rd and 20 or anything. That is a pretty deep drop for a linebacker there. So what are they going to be running? We'll kind of look at this. So they're going to be running this, let's see, this kind of deep post here. And then you've got this kind of levels dig action here. Call this whatever you want. Portland, kind of Yankee look, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care. But the idea is what you're trying to do out of a too high look is you're trying to, because this guy here is going to be an outside. If it's the coverage you think it is, going to be outside leverage. He's going to be kind of trailing there. And then with a middle field open, this is what a post can attack. If you're saying if these guys are splitting here, that means I've got, and you're running these guys here, so you're trying to pull this safety up or this one up here. There's both of them based on what they're going to do over here. Kind of split them, open in the middle of the field, hit him with the post because this guy's going to be outside techniques. That's what you're doing. You got the middle field open, you attack that with the post, you run these digs here, and then on the other side, we'll kind of draw this out again. I think it was like this, and then you're going to run, I think this kind of like flat, and it's kind of stutter and go here. So really what you're trying to do, widen these guys a little more. Get him to come down on these digs. You get him to kind of widen out over there, which means you've got 1-to-1 out here, that guy in trail, and you've got the middle of the field open. So you throw that post. That's what they're looking at. That's what this concept is designed to do. That's what you're looking to do. So we'll kind of look, and we'll kind of go step by step on this. So on the initial look, Cousins doesn't have a period check forward on the backside. You see he's turned and running because he's playing these vertical routes. He's capping the vertical. Same thing over here. Amos is capping the vertical route. So do you see these initial vertical stems here? I'm showing the colors here. The initial vertical release from both of those guys. You got Ford over those vertical routes, and you got Amos over those vertical routes. Now, as these start to break, I'll say this is the moment here. You see Cousins has his feet. He's not throwing yet, but he's looking. These are breaking in. Now, as soon as those start breaking in, because then you got this one over here, so you've got a linebacker up the seam, and I think that's Hawkinson up the seam, up the sideline there. Amos shifts his attention over here for the call to help with that one there, which leaves, for Cousins' perspective, if he's not checking, it does not, again, we'll look at it from the backside, does not appear that he has checked the backside at all. None of that. And so he's now seeing, okay, Amos is diverted over here, which means I know I've got this big post inside leverage against a corner with outside leverage. What he does not see, because he's not checking, because if you kind of check that coverage, you see that split safety look. You think a lot of times you check the backside safety, he's checking play side safety here. You say, okay, if they're splitting here, I've got the too high look. I know I want, I've got the post. Cousins does not double check to see what Ford is doing, but you can see at this moment, and we'll get rid of this one here because that feels like that's a bit much at that point. Ford at this point, when those break in, he now turns his attention to rob the post. So his initial thing is to take care of the vertical routes over here. As soon as those break out, he robs the post. So this looks like middle field open because it's in the middle field open family, but based on the way these routes distributed, his job is, okay, if there's nothing vertical this way, I'm not needed. These are both in breaking. I'm taking the post. So he goes and robs the post. Cousins lets that go. You can see right now, ball is in the air right there. And him breaking there, and he just never sees. And again, you've got outside. So from Cousins' perspective, if Ford stayed in his position over here, this is a big gain. But Ford is able to peel off, just steps right underneath. Beautifully done. There we go. Pick it off, and then get back. Get a nice return. So we'll look at this from the other angle, and we'll get out. We'll look at this one more time here, just so you can see everything again, without me stopping and talking all the time. So again, we're going to see Rudy Ford. This is the main thing here. As soon as these break, he's going to divert his attention back to the middle to rob the post, which is going to be robbing that one there, and Cousins just never really looks at him. So we'll watch Ford on this. He drops. In breaking, I'm turning my attention to the post, rob the post, pick the ball off. Nicely done by Ford. And again, we'll see from the backside here. We'll watch this a couple times. I usually say watch the stripe of the helmet. There is no stripe on the helmet there, but we'll just watch Cousins' head. It doesn't appear as though he ever checks. That's Ford. Doesn't look like he ever checks Ford on the backside there. So it looks like he's looking front side the whole way. He kind of checks before the snap. All right, where's the aligned? He's looking straight down the middle right there. He does not see Ford rotating, so he's not directly looking at Ford, but he is looking right down the middle there. He sees Quay. He doesn't see Ford bailing to the post at that point. So then he looks over that way. You can see him kind of looking over there for the post, never checks Ford again. Ford is able to sneak underneath, grab that pick. Really nicely done. Good call there, good recognition for Ford. As soon as those routes start breaking in, he just breaks to the post with no hesitation, and it got him an interception for his trouble. So really fun play. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll talk to you later.